Hey guys, it's Melissa here. Today we're going to be working inside the house. I am choosing paint colors today. Last week I painted all over my house on every spare wall trying to find a paint color, and I think I've narrowed it down to 2 color choices. I don't know. It's choosing a paint color is my weakness, 100%. I am not good at it. It's something I just don't have that in me. Some people can just pick out a color right then and there, know exactly what they're gonna get. Me, on the other hand, I don't know, maybe I'm colorblind or something, but I can hardly, I don't know, I can't pick a color for the life of me. It's something that I would pay somebody willingly to choose a color for me because I just can't seem to figure it out. Now, in case you missed the news, we are actually in the process of working on my inside of my house. I am completely redoing this whole area. It's not really a huge remodel, but it definitely is going to have a huge impact at the end. We are putting up new beadboard ceiling, which I have a sample somewhere. Here it is. This is going to be the new ceiling. Can you see it? It's got the grooves in there. Really pretty. It's going to be beautiful up on the ceiling. And then we're going to be installing beams as well. Now the beams are going to be totally homemade, just made out of wood. I picked out some pine wood, which is not the best for staining, but I tried the other woods that we could afford to do it. And out of all of them that I tried, pine was the best one that's affordable and looked best for coloring. So I actually have some color swatches out here that I can show you. All right, so this is just a pine board, but these are all the different colors that I've been looking at. I have some dark walnut in here. I have provincial. I have some that are just mixed. I have a special walnut and early American, I believe, as well. And I think out of all of them, I'm thinking I'm liking this one. This is provincial. Or wait, maybe it was this one. Maybe it's both. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting delirious when it comes to colors. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I think I'm going to end up just picking something rather than really thinking hard because I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting delirious at this point. But it's definitely a beautiful color, and I think that's the color I'm definitely leaning toward. The darker one, even though it's beautiful, this is dark walnut, I think it might be a little too dark for the size of my house. We did end up getting the hood installed, and it's looking so pretty. Right now, I do notice that it just feels kind of just nothing's around it, right? It really feels kind of out of place at the moment, but I think once we have the beams up on the ceiling, it's not going to feel so just alone up there. I think it's going to be better. So we're going to trust the process. I really think that it's going to look better once the beams are up. I think what makes me so nervous is that here we put money away for this project. It's not a crazy expensive project, but it was enough where we had to save up for it because, that's just how life is for us anyway. And it's like, so we put on all this time, we're doing all the work ourselves and all this money into it. And it's like, I hope it's going to look good at the end. I mean, we won't know until we get it done, right? Now, currently on our walls, we do have this like faint blue gray color. I really like this color specifically on certain times. So in the springtime and the summertime, I love this color from morning till early afternoon. Once late afternoon hits, I don't like the color of this wall. And in the wintertime, I really dislike this color. So I'm excited to get rid of the color and try something new. But the truth of the matter is I've never had white walls before. So I am actually nervous about that. I know that I go into lots of people's houses and most everybody has white or cream walls. It's a very normal color to have in a house. But I've never had that before. So I'm nervous. I'm worried. What I'm worried about is I'm worried that the home is going to feel sterile. I feel, at least for me, and at least from people that have told me, that when you walk into my home right now, you feel like, oh, you're at home. You feel cozy. It feels just like a warm hug. And that's what I love about this home so far. So I'm nervous that I'm going to mess it up. And I don't even remember the color that we have. So it's not like I can say, oh, I can just paint this wall color back because I don't remember anymore. That was years ago when we first painted this house. So, it's exciting. I'm excited because I think what it's going to do for me having the cream walls instead of the colored walls is I'm going to be able to bring my colors into the house through the accents. And then if I decide to change colors for a season or for whatever reason, it'll be easy to intermix it or to switch it out. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most. So I'm hoping at least that's what I'm hoping is what it's going to end up being like. At least at this time period, all the furniture is going to stay. That's not going to be in the budget whatsoever for the remodeling. So the couches, the chairs, the table, that's going to stay. My sideboard, I bought this last year for my anniversary and I absolutely love it, but I still need a hutch for this. I want to have a hutch that goes all the way up to the top, but my husband's going to have to make that. So I'm hoping that will get done. It's not going to get done this year. Hopefully next year that'll be done. But in the meantime, I think it's just absolutely beautiful. Today, we're going to be focusing on paint colors. I need to really narrow down the paint colors because we can't start any of the other projects until I get the paint started. And we have a huge party coming up in just a couple of weeks. On 4th of July, every year we have a huge block party. And people are always in and out of the house. I mean, it's a big old thing for our area. And I would like to not be in the middle of a remodel during that party. Wouldn't that be nice? So I'm really falling behind, and my husband keeps saying, Miss, he calls me Miss, you gotta get this work done. It's like, I know, I need to. So today is the day. We are gonna be focusing on paint colors, and I'm gonna choose between two. I'm gonna show you some of the samples that I have on the wall already, and we're gonna just kind of narrow this down, and please, chime in if you have a different opinion than I have, because like I said, I am not an expert at this. This is just going based on, I guess, fingers crossed and hope that for the best. All right, so over here, as you can see, I have some colors all over. Just trying my very best to figure it out, but I think I've honed it down to 2 colors. So I'm kind of liking this one. This one's called Ballet White. I think it's a very pretty off-white. And I like this one, Pale Oak. And the reason why I'm kind of leaning toward Pale Oak is because it is part of the color family that my cabinets are already painted. So my cabinets were professionally painted. That's one thing I did, was I paid for a professional to come and spray them. They're filthy right now, so we're not even going to worry about that. I'm not going to get too close. But this color is White Dove. That's what color we had all the cabinets, the bookcase, all the cabinets in the hallway, all the trim work. Everything was actually painted a White Dove. And Pale Oak is on the same color family as that one. So that's why I'm kind of leaning toward that, kind of make it match. But for some reason, I keep looking at this one and I don't know, I kind of like it. These picture frames may or may not stay. They're very modern to me, and I'm really not a modern person, so I don't know why I bought them in the first place. But like these ones, for example, I don't know. I don't even remember where I got these. I got these probably 20 years ago, and I really like them still. And so I've been color matching the paint with this kind of background because I think this is just so pretty. So Pale Oak is this one, and I thought that looked really nicely together. But where's Ballet White? Ballet White is right here. And again, that looks really nice there as well. Over here in the kitchen, let's see, in the kitchen I have, so right now the baseboard, I have it painted the Ballet White, and that looks really nice, I think. And then this one is Pale Oak, and next to the cabinet right there. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all the picture frames off that wall. I'm gonna move the furniture away from the wall, and I'm just gonna paint big sections of both of those colors to kind of like, I guess, get a feel of it, and then that'll help me decide. That makes sense. I have enough sample paints for it, so why not, right? So I think that's what I'm gonna do today, so that I can get this started, because before we can put up the ceiling, we gotta get the walls painted. And before I can even paint the ceiling boards, because we're going to paint those outside before we install them, we've got to figure out the wall color, because the wall and the ceiling are going to be the same color. I so badly wanted to have the ceiling to be stained the same color as the beams, but unfortunately there's a lot of knots in the ceiling wood, and I don't want it to look like knotty pine, and I think that's the look it actually is. So we're going to end up having to paint it, which was definitely not my first choice, but oh well, it'll still look good. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to remove the pictures and get them off the wall. You're going to see a lot of just nails there and a lot of putty. I have a lot of putty on my picture frames to kind of keep them straight. And so we're going to have to get all the putty off as well. I think I'm going to move these to the table Try not to mess up my husband's puzzle that he's got going on. Now, I love my family photos on the wall. I will always have my family photos on the wall, but I'm just not liking these frames so much anymore. It's definitely a more modern look, and I'm not into that. I was never into modern. I don't know why, but to me, it just always looked good. But now I think I'm ready for a change. It'd be better, easier to just, oops, not break my furniture, but let's move the couch out of the way. There we go. All right. Back up, Bugs. Back up. There we go. Move. Gus, no. Out. All right. Ooh, there's a mess. I love looking at these photos. I miss it when they were little. Now, if you've never used the putty before, yes, it looks like it makes a huge mess right now, but it's super easy to pull off, and it really holds your picture frame straight. But as you can see, like, there's some drips because my house does get warm, and so it does kind of melt a little bit, but you know, at least it does what it's supposed to do. Boy, my walls are dirty. Now, if we were doing this in the morning, it'd be a lot easier to come off because it just wipes off. But because it's already a little warm in my house, I mean, what's the temperature? I don't want to say how hot it is in my house, but it's already pretty warm in here. So it's more smearing at this moment because of the warmth. But doing this, like I said, if your air conditioner is on, which mine is not, or early in the morning, it'll wipe off really easily. Now, it may appear that I have very tall ceilings, but that's not the case. My ceilings are only actually, I think they're just shy of 8 feet. I'm just really short. Don't be fooled by camera angles. Now I'm going to move my lamps as well because I don't want to mess up and accidentally paint my lamps. These are very expensive lamps. And they're nice looking. I like them. All right, so I think we're going to start with pale oak. I really want to see what this is going to look like on the wall. So I'm just going to start by, I just bought a little sample jar. This is what I bought from Ace Hardware because they have the Benjamin Moore. This is a Benjamin Moore color. All of the colors that I choose are Benjamin Moore. And the reason why is I feel like the color is more true to the swatches. So I have done Sherwin-Williams a couple of times, like in the bedrooms I did Sherwin-Williams because it is cheaper than Benjamin Moore. But I feel like every color I've chosen, it's like you go and you roll it and it looks totally different than what I thought it was going to look like. Now again, that could just be a me problem and not Sherwin-Williams problem, but I notice that when I use Benjamin Moore, I don't have that issue. You know what, I think I don't want to get paint splatter on me and I don't want to take out my painting clothes just yet. All right, so pale oak. All right, here we go. What do you think so far? I kind of like it. I think it's quite pretty. It's going to darken as it dries. So that's what the other swatch did. So I want to make sure I get enough layers on it so that you don't see the blue, because I haven't primed anything yet, which I probably should have, but I didn't. Ooh. Ooh, I kind of like that. That is quite pretty. It's definitely an off-white cream color. I really like that. That's very pretty. I like that a lot. All right, so while I let this dry, I'm gonna actually pour out the other color, which is Ballet White. So this is Ballet White. So there's Ballet White right there next to the tile. Here's Pale Oak right here next to the cabinet. I feel like on camera it comes up whiter than it really is. It's very creamy over here at least. Now the two most important colors that I want in my house right now are like this slate gray blue color. I don't know, I think it's so beautiful. So there's this decoration I don't want to get rid of. I want to keep this decoration because I really like it. But my other favorite color in the house is like this wheat color right here. You see it? Yeah, that's the color. The golden wheat color, I really don't want it to be a primary color. I need it to be a very faint accent. So I do have that color splattered across the house. So right here on the mantle, I have it in the flowers. I have this pillow that's about the same color. This throw that my mother-in-law gave me is the same color as those on the mantle. And then on my sideboard over here, I have this flower that's also the same wheat color. And in the kitchen, I have these bowls that are pretty much the same color. All right, let's do the second coat. I feel like it's dried enough. The second coat of the Pale Oak. I'm standing across the room right now and I'm looking at the colors. Can you see it as well as I can? I can definitely see the difference between the colors. Now, granted, I think Pale Oak is not dry all the way. No, I still see the color difference between dry and still wet. But man, Ballet White is looking so pretty from here. So when we're deciding what colors we're going to use in our home, we've got to look at the whole picture, not just individual color. Oh, I like this one. So what you got to do is when you put it up in your wall, you got to see how does the color look with the other pieces of furniture in your house? Like I said, none of my furniture is leaving. Everything is staying. So this is simply just kind of a cosmetic remodel, but the sofa's going to stay the same. The table's going to stay the same. The sideboard's going to stay the same for now. The end tables are going to stay the same. And the lamps, those are all staying. I need to make sure the color that I choose is going to mesh well with all those things. Like, for example, the fabric on the shade. It's got to mesh well. It doesn't have to match exactly. That's not what we're looking for. Nothing needs to be matchy, but it has to mesh well. It has to blend well together. Already, I'm pretty certain my mirror that I have hung up over the fireplace, that's going to have to be painted. See right there, that's pretty stark white. That's going to have to be changed to a different color because I think that's not going to mesh well. And that also counts for the colors that I decide to choose for the beams in the house. All right, so I can kind of look at and decide, like see, for example, that's too light. That's too dark. Let's go over to Provincial. This is Provincial right here. And I think that looks pretty darn good. What do you think? So that's Provincial right there. Pull it out just a little bit more so we can see more. Okay. Or there's Early American, which is this one. See, I feel like the Early American, even though I'm drawn to this one, it has a lot more red tone to it, though this has no red tone to it. So I think Provincial really is the best color match to this. Now let's take the color samples over to the side tables to see how it looks. All right, so there's that. As you can see in my side table, there is a lot of variation in color here. So actually multiple colors could work. So this actually looks quite nice with it. I think, but it's still, I think, just a little too dark. This is Provincial, and I think it looks nice with that. And then Early American is that one. Yeah, I'm leaning toward Provincial. I think that's going to be the one that I'm going to end up doing because I think that matches my color that I have going on in my house. How's the wall? Is it dry yet? Almost a little bit. It's getting there. Boy, but I'm really liking the ballet white. I'm wanting to like the pale oak because of the fact that it's the same color family as my cabinet. So that's like, I want to like this one more, but for some reason, I don't know. I'm leaning toward ballet white. Now I'm going to hold this wood up and we're going to kind of look at it. We're going to see how the colors actually look with either pale oak or ballet white. Again, I'm kind of leaning toward Provincial. That's the color I think is going to look the best. So once again, that is this color sample right here and right next to the dark one. So that's the one I'm kind of looking at. All right, so that's what that looks like with pale oak. Granted, pale oak is not fully dry yet. So maybe I'll hold it down. You see if I hold it down just a little bit. That's what that looks like. Or I'm gonna turn it around. Again, it's this one right here. And that's what it looks like with ballet oak. I'm just really liking the ballet oak. No, it's not ballet oak, ballet white. That's what it's called, ballet white. I'm actually really liking that color. Decisions. I don't know what to choose. As of right now, I'm leaning toward ballet white. I think that's going to be the color that really, I don't know, that's really giving me that warm color. I don't want a hospital feeling house. I don't want someone walking into my home and feel like it feels cold and sterile. You know, I want it to feel cozy, like grandma's house. That's how I want my house to feel. So I don't know, I'm really kind of liking that one. I think that's the one I'm going to choose. Maybe I should just call it and say, that's it, no more decision, no more thinking, ballet white is what it is. I want to say that. I just can't seem to make myself say it. But I think it's going to be ballet white. All right, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be, hopefully next week when I do another episode of Inside the House, the walls will be painted. That's the hope, right? Because I got to get this project done. But let me know in the comments which one you actually like best, if it's either of these. And you can absolutely say, I don't like any of them. You can totally say that too. But as of right now, I'm really leaning toward ballet white. I think, I don't know, it's got that warmness to it I really like. So I think that's the one I really want to do. I just hope that it doesn't look too bad next to all the tile and the white. Maybe I need to paint that wall instead of this wall. Take down the big old, maybe I will. Why not, right? All right, guys, thanks for joining me. See you next time.